Hello everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning po sa inyong lahat. Good morning everyone. Hello. Hello. Can we hear naman a respond from our dear YMLP5 fellows? Magandang umaga po. Happy Saturday. Can I see a reaction or kahit a respond lang via chat?
Good morning, Miss Marv.
Ayan, good morning. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Thank you very much for spending or choosing to spend your Saturday morning with us para sa ating Young Mobility Leaders Program, session number 2. Ako pa rin po si Marvin, ang inyong kasama para sa ating YMLP5 journey at ikinagagalak po namin ng buong Move as One Coalition na makasama po kayo, our dear fellows, sa umagang ito. And we're also very happy to share that we are live on Facebook. So if you have friends whom you think may be interested in learning with you and with us this morning about our session, please feel free to share the live link to and with them. So I will be chatting here the link to our live stream in case you like some friends to also learn with us, or you can also share this Zoom link with them para marami tayong matututo, okay? Because this Saturday morning, we are very honored because and we're very glad as well to be joined by a very special person who will be our resource person this morning. But before we dig right into the topic that we have prepared with for all of us this morning, we'll have a very quick a look back lang or a recapitulation of what has transpired during our first session, I think some 2 Saturdays ago, right? So during our first session, we did learn from Doc Maureen Mata, about the Philippine public transport situation. And during that session, natutunan natin na ang ating transportation system or situation sa ating bansa ay nakakalungkot isipin. Being that it is chaotic, it is not super systematic, and it is something that lives so much to be desired. You know, I remember one of the quotations or one quotable quote that Doc Mao said, para pag nagko-commute daw siya, para siya nakikipagdigmaan, no? And I think that is ringing truer than before because when we look around, especially for our friends who are based in Manila, talagang nakakalungkot isipin at panoorin ang mga kapwa natin Pilipino na nakipagsiksikan, nagkikipaghabulan, at they have to endure the heat. That's why sa sobrang problematic at sobrang corrupt, if sorry for the term, sa sobrang corrupt ng ng ating sistema, na nagse-settle na lang tayo sa bare minimum, which in fact it shouldn't be the case. That is why with YMLP, we are forming men and women and everyone, regardless of background, to instill in them a sense of awareness, a sense of care and concern for the things around them, and one of which is the topic on the public transport system. And we are still on this journey called YMLP, and we will be together until February next year. And if you remember, I also did share during our orientation session in October that our sessions are carefully curated to ensure that the learning is optimal, to ensure that there is a continuity of understanding and being able to share with each other what we are learning about this cause and this advocacy that Move As One has been forwarding for 4 years already now. So for our second module, atin pong pag-uusapan sa umagang ito ang tanong na sino ako at para kanino, di ba? I think that's a very nice question to ask ourselves. Who are we and for whom or for what are we here for? Because I believe, wow, lakas maka I believe, ano? But I think time and again, we've always been told that we do not live for ourselves only. No man is an island, but rather, one thing that makes life even more meaningful is when we do things that benefit others around us. Kahit isang tao lang yan, for as long as we do something good, I think that already goes a long way. Then how much more that we do things that benefit many people. And sometimes doing something for others starts from us. And that sense of starting from us begins with a sense of awakening, sense of understanding and answering the question, who are we? Our sense of identity would allow us to remember and understand that we are here for others as well. If you are familiar with the South African adage, it says, Zulu umuntu ngubuntu ganga bantu, or simply Ubuntu. It means that humanity towards others. I am because we are. No, so I think that's one thing that we will highlight this morning. That in understanding who we are, we also understand that we are made for others and we are made for some things. And we have a very special person who will be with us and share, or sort of guide us in answering this question. Because for today, ating pag-uusapan ang community organizing in the grassroots, which also answers the question. Next, please. Which also tries to answer the question, how do we become an advocate? No, I'm sure that in the past we've always learned and wanted and even desired to partake in causes around us, but sort of delimited by the idea of not being able to, or not knowing where to start, how to start. So this is that opportunity to jumpstart our journey of becoming advocates. And lastly, next slide, please. We will be understanding or learning about the role of the Move as One coalition and how we can become an advocate, and specifically for this transport advocacy. Now, I think, friends, we're all ready. If you're all ready, can I see a virtual thumbs up naman dyan from every one of you here in Zoom, and even our viewers on live on Facebook? Ariane, so thank you very much. I'm seeing all the thumbs up already. And friends, I have the honor to call here on Zoom a very special person, a woman, a figure, an icon of the Move as One coalition. Paninignan po na isang virtual na malakas na palakpakan to Ms. Rachel Hyacinth Nacario Bendania of Pulangi, Albay. Over to you, Haya. Magandang umaga, Haya.
Shit, na-stress ako sa energy. Live on Facebook. Hello po, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Ngayon na nasa Zoom call. Ayan. Hindi po pwedeng babaan yung energy after ni Marv, setting the standard. So salamat po sa lahat na nito sa call ngayon. Shoutout po kay Kuya Ira na pumasok at na-pressure ako. Chika. Sabi nga niya, invites are meant to be accepted. Emerald. Magandang umaga, friends. So, as usual, wala po akong presentation kasi ang baon ko sa araw-araw ay galing at ganda. So, ganda po. Ako po ang visual aid for today. Magkukwento lang po ako tungkol sa ating talk points para ngayong araw. Alam ko po masyadong maaga pa. It's 10:30 in the morning. Pero kung meron po sa inyo mga kapag-on cam, I would very much appreciate it. Otherwise, titingnan ko lang po si Marv kung kung hindi pa ako nakakansela sa Zoom screen. Ayan. Maraming salamat, Kuya Ira. Ay, good morning! Ang gwapo! Ang gwapo niya! Nag-off cam tuloy! Kuya Ira, mag-on cam ka ulit. Kailangan ka ma-bless. Ayan po. If kaya niyo lang po, mag-on cam po tayo. Otherwise, mamaya po pala gusto ko lang i-plug na meron pong National Bike to Work Day Expo sa National Bike Day Expo sa Arcovia mamaya, Arcovia Pasig. Hi Cyrus. So, sa mga available po for today, kita-kits po tayo doon. Madami po tayong community movements na may kanya-kanyang booth doon na pwede po ninyong bisitahin. Anyways, balik na po tayo sa ating conversation. So, ngayon friends, nakita niyo naman po yung binigay sa akin talk points ng ating Miss Universe Marvin Pamisa. Yung magiging talakayan po natin ay magfo-focus, unang-una syempre sa storya ng Move as One. So, paano nga ba tayo ng buo? And then kung ano nga ba yung iba't ibang klase ng advocates, saan doon pumapasok si Move as One, tapos ano yung pinaglalaban natin at paano niya mapipili kung ano ba talaga yung fighter at energy na gusto niyo as an advocate. Kasi hindi po siya iisang hulma, iba-ibang hulma po siya at walang one type cookie cutter na advocate na pwede tayong maging tayo. So yung una po nating ikukwento ay ano nga po ba ang Move as One Coalition at paano tayo nabuo? So nagkwento na siya briefly ni Ali nung welcoming ceremony ng ating mga kagandahan. But tandaan niyo pa po ba yung pandemic? Tseka, ang tagal na kasi 2020. So, nung pandemic po nabuo ang koalisyon, nangyari po yun because nagkaroon ng mass suspension ng public transportation sa Pilipinas. So, bawal po bumiyahe ang mga jeep, bawal bumiyahe, halos lahat. Dahil paniniwalaan na yun yung, di ba yung close contact is how you spread and get COVID. So, dahil siksikan sa mga jeep, siksikan sa mga bus, isa yun sa mga unang binan. 3 weeks after that initial ban ng Marso, salamat Marv sa pag-on cam, nakikita ko ang iyong kagandahan. 3 weeks after ibinan yun, allowed na bumiyahe. So, nilift na po yung lockdown natin. Pero, lift na yung lockdown. Kaso, pwedeng bumiyahe. Pero, only for private vehicles, 'di ba? Bawal pa rin ang public transportation. So ang nangyayari nung nilift yung lockdown, isa sa mga nabalita nun sa Twitter, now called X, ay yung haba ng pila sa Starbucks drive-thru, 'di ba? 3 weeks after the pandemic, yun yung unang headline, yung Starbucks drive-thru na pila. Because only those with private vehicles can actually move. Grabe yung naging balita noon kasi yun yung time na yung mga nanay na namamalengke, bawal tumawid sa kabilang barangay para mamalengke. Bawal mag-commute, so karamihan sa kanila naglalakad. Dala-dala yung mabibigat nilang pagkain para sa bahay. Bawal pumasok yung mga trabahador, yung mga kailangan ng medical facility, medical access gaya ng mga 3 times a week dialysis ng kidney. Wala silang masakyan, kailangan nila maglakad. And sometimes manghiram ng wheelchair tapos i-push yung wheelchair na yon to the nearest medical center para sa kanilang much needed dialysis. And then syempre hindi natin makakalimutan yung libu-libong transport workers natin na jeepney driver na namamalimos sa gilid ng kalsada. So, masalimuot po yung sitwasyon ng mga manggagawa natin, ng mga ordinaryong mararita, ng mga ordinaryong mamamayan ng pandemic. In fact, kasama po doon kasi a lot of the features are from Manila. So, bilang probinsyana, kukwento ko mabilis yung nangyayari sa probinsya. So, hindi lahat ng probinsya malala yung lockdown. Ang naging problema namin ay yung mga probinsyano pong galing Maynila, they have no way to go home. Walang kita. So, madami pong probinsyano na from Manila naglakad dahil suspended ang public transport. Halimbawa, from Manila to Bicol, that's a good 450 kilometers. Naglakad sila ng 5 hanggang 7 araw para po makauwi sa kanilang mga probinsya. And that's just Albay. There are other provinces which are much farther. Dahil walang kita sa Maynila, paano sila kakain? And everyone believe na end of the world siya, so might as well go home. So napakalaki po yung lapse o pagkukulang ng public transportation services nung pandemic. In fact, it took more than 6 months for some of the routes to even be returned to service. And in fact, hanggang ngayon, marami pong mga ruta ang hindi pa rin binabalik ng LTFRB. And because of this conversation, kailangan po magbisikleta ng ating mga healthcare workers para makapag-access at makapunta ng mga ospital. But at that time, yung mga hindi pinalad na may mga kotse, they walk and a lot of them cycle to work. At if you look back doon sa mga balita ng pandemic, karamihan po sa kanila may mga balita na inaararo ng mga truck, inaararo ng mga kotse kasi hindi ligtas yung kalsada. At that was actually one of the first initiatives. Parang, why don't we set up bicycle loops all over major hospitals in the city para at least man lang hindi mamatay yung mga taong nagliligtas sa buhay natin. And I think that sparked the conversation in the formation of Move As One. So at that time, there was just general frustration among different sectors kasi lahat apektado. Lahat naman sa lahat ng sektor may mga madami, karamihan walang kotse. So how can we pivot this? How can we make things better? So nabuo po yung Move As One Coalition, nag-usap-usap yung iba't ibang mga sektor. So Alt Mobility, ayan, sila Kuya Ira, Commute, sila Madam Toex, HPAC, sila Doc Tony Dan, sila po yung ating mga healthcare workers during the pandemic. Ating mga transport workers from NCTU, National Confederation of Transport Workers Union, at iba-iba pong mga grupo, mga siklista, ng mga matatanda, ng mga taong may kapansanan, ng mga tao na kailangan ng medical access, ng mga doktor, ng mga pasyente, ng mga nurse, ng mga guro. Lahat po yun nagsama-sama at nag-usap para itanong, what can be done? Emergency situation siya, and there are advocates along the way. So, ano yung pwedeng gawin? Given this particular lapse in public transportation. At dito po parang napag-usapan yung scoping ng Move As One Coalition na Yung opportunity kasi nun ay nasa Kongreso. They were passing a Bayanihan Act. Shit, tagal-tagal na. Bayanihan Act. Ayan. Yung Heal Together as One. Emerald na act, di ba? Saan yun galing? So, doon siya nagsimula. Kaya ang naging conversation ay maybe ang kailangan natin is mag-infuse o ipasok yung public transport budget and line items doon sa currently emergency response ng gobyerno, which is the budget. At kaya po nabuo ang Move as One bilang policy and budget coalition because of that golden opportunity, but also because the organizations within Move as One are already good at advocating. Lahat sila may kanya-kanyang initiative. Si Altmav, ano na yan eh, parang ilang taon na kayo kuya? Ano nung 2020? 3 years old? 3 years old, 5 years old? Ay, wow, nagbilang siya sa fingers. 3 years. What is subtraction, di ba? Thanks, Kuya Ira. So, ayun po, there are organizations like Alt Mobility, for example, na 3 years old na nung time na yun. But there are also organizations like Centro, for example, na lagpas 40, 50 taon na nasa transport movement. Parang sino ba naman ang Move as One para, kumbaga, madami ng tao na nagkiklaim ng espasyo nila doon sa general universe ng transport at lahat magagaling, lahat may kanya-kanyang ambag. But there's one specific gap na hindi nagagawa ng mga organisasyon na yon at naisip ng conversation ng mga organisasyon na baka ito yung pwedeng gawin ng koalisyon, mag-focus sa budget, mag-focus sa policy, and then leave the advocating to the advocacy organizations because that's what they're good at. So, doon po yung history ng Move Us On Coalition, doon siya nagsimula at doon din po masasagot kung bakit policy and budget po yung tinutuunan natin. Ngayon, dako po tayo sa pangalawang section ng chismisa na to. Yung pangalawa ay, okay, Budget and Policy Coalition ng Move as One. Advocate pa rin ba kayo? Parang, ano nga ba ang pagiging advocate? So, merong school of thought sa Twitter. The Twitter school of thought na usually kasi when you think of advocate, especially with the current absorption ng social media, ang naiisip po natin yung mga galit. Yung mga very, very passionate, very, very, madaming energy. So yun, yung idea ng pagiging isang advocate, pagiging isang youth leader, pagiging isang active, engaged citizen, pagalit. So a lot of people don't claim that they are advocates, or a lot of people are hesitant in joining advocacy movements kasi ang nai-imagine nila ganong picture, ganong itsura, hindi naman sila ganon. Or lalo na yung mga gusto nating i-convert na mayayaman galing sa, halimbawa, sa Corinthians, ayan. Gusto natin sila maging co-advocate, but the way they see advocates are puro protesta, rally. So they don't wanna do it because their parents say it's unsafe. So how do you bring them to our side? So, iba-iba po ang klase ng advocates. Yung una po, na usually na hindi nababanggit ay yung ating mga academics. So our academicians are actually, a portion of them are actually advocates. And what do? They contribute to the field of thought. They change the way subjects are taught in universities. They change the way toxic traffic engineering is being implemented on the ground. And how, they change the way different people who would eventually design roads, who would eventually design streets, who would eventually design policies, are being informed of what is right and wrong and how this is actually done in practice. Ayan, si Kuya Ira po is a fan of civil engineering. In fact, I think if he could go back in time, he wants to be a civil engineer and design, more flood control projects and build more expressways. Yun po yung ginagawa ng ating mga academics and they're very vital. If you talk to a lot of academics today, madami silang kritisismo even in the institutions themselves. In fact, the reason kung bakit ang hirap-hirap minsan mag-advocate sa DPWH on different road designs na mas makatao, mas nakasentro para sa mga siklista, para sa mga pedestrian, para sa public transport commuters, ay dahil ang tinuturo sa kanila sa loob ng mga eskwelahan ay car-centric. So it starts there. Academics are very important allies and academics are also very important advocates in the movement like ours because sila yung laging kasama on the formative stage ng beliefs ng ating mga future professionals who are actually designing what our policies and reforms and roads look like. Yung second pong type of advocate, ito yung mas popular, yung ground organizers. Sila yung usually pagalit, usually maangas, usually nasa kalsada. And for a good reason. Yung role po kasi ng ground organizers natin ay to let workers, to let ordinary citizens know, to let sectors know their rights, what they can demand, and what's missing in the picture. At minsan ang hirap nun i-communicate sa isang sektor na overwhelmed sa buhay. So the way you communicate it is sometimes pagalit. You tell them what they're losing, you tell them kung ano yung ninanakaw sa kanilang gobyerno, you tell them kung ano yung dapat pang ibigay sa kanila ng gobyerno, you tell them kung ano yung karapatan nila. At sinasabi mo yun lagi with a hint of passion, with a hint of galit. Kasi otherwise, kung kalmado yung pakikipag-usap mo sa sektor na pagod na sa araw-araw, hindi kanya papakinggan. And the goal of ground organizers is for you to create a sectoral mass or a significant mass of people which is big enough and angry enough to demand things from the government. That's your goal as a ground organizer. They are very vital in the picture because without ground organizers, walang critical mass sa populace na talaga nagko-call out sa gobyerno, sumusugo, nagpo-protesta, nagrarally, fini-feature ng media. Walang nagbabago ng narrative na yon. That's why they are also a very important sector of the advocacy movement. Pero yun nga, karamihan sila yung nakikita when we talk about the advocacy movement. But there are more advocates than that, which will lead me to the third kind of advocate, the civil servant leaders in government. Ayan, nakikita ko dito, si Madam Mel ay may DOTR background. O, di ba? Naka-Filipiniana pa siya at naka-post with DOTR sa kanyang Zoom. Ayan. So, yung third type po of advocate natin are civil servants. Si Kuya Ira, who is live on Zoom call today. Emmy, siya po actually nakilala ko when he was in Pasig Transport. Siya po ay dating kawani ng gobyerno, di ba? Civil servant leaders in the government are those who try their best to find a compromise between what should be done and what is doable in the complicated bureaucracy while pushing the envelope further to the ideal each time. So yun po yung goal nila. So karamihan sa kanila napapagod sa sistema, karamihan pinupush yung sistema at binabago yung sistema. But nevertheless, karamihan po sa kanila ay tinatry yung best nila sa loob ng movement na yon. So si Kuya Ira, for example, I know him as a bike person in Altmob Universe during that time. I know him as an academic. I know him as an academic. As a researcher, emerald. But at that time, I think I also know him as the hat of Pasig Transport. When we were talking on what could be done for the PUVMP, on what could be local implementation of that in Pasig on the ground led by Pasig City para ipakita sa LTFRB na ganito ang itsura ng just transition. Syempre, madaming hurdles nun. Even as much as sila Kuya Ira, sila Ate Karen, who are also in Move as One, want to push the envelope further and really, want this ideal package to be sold. At the end of the day, they are not decision makers. At the end of the day, they have to lobby within the bureaucracy. They have to talk to councilors. They have to talk to the mayor. They have to get people on board. So that's what they do. They work with advocates on what can be done and what should be done. And then they revert back and try to push it further within the bureaucracy para magawa siya at makakuha ng endorsement na kailangan. So they're actually important in bridging the gap between civil society and the government elected officials. So that's our civil servant advocates. Yung pang-apat is our development partners. In other universes, you call them funders. But in this universe, we call them development partners. At ang goal nila is to channel resources to movements who make a difference and deliver results. Without them, a lot of movements are actually gonna have a hard time sustaining their own. A lot of them don't have, volunteer energy kasi it's strong, but it's short term. So volunteer energy is not forever. Minsan lang siya, it's good for 3 months, it's good for 1 week nga sa ibang tao. It's good when there is an urgency, but when that urgency dies down, the volunteers scramble to do other things kasi may iba silang buhay. Kailangan kumita ng pera, may pamilya, etc., etc. So this where development partners come in. They channel resources to be able to sustain movements and bring secretariat to be able to get things done. So important din po sila doon sa universe na yon. And in fact, a lot of our people who are in different embassies, who are in different funding institutions, are also mobility advocates. Kaya po nagkakaroon ng pera ang mga mobility movements because some of our advocates are actually in those positions to channel resources to movements on the ground. At yung panghuli, na nakikita po nating type ng advocate ay yung mga advocate natin sa media. One of the kuwento ko 'to before, sa mga media people, isa sa mga tampo ko as a anak ng transport worker, nung early days ng forever ng buhay ko, ay laging laging kaaway yung public transport. Laging ang framing ay, traffic sa kalsada kasi nagprotesta. May mobilisasyon kasi, may nationwide strike kaya, naaabala yung ating mga manggagawa, naaabala yung ating mga nurse na gusto lang naman pumasok sa trabaho, ng ating mga estudyante. And even when media has the power to frame things differently, usually ganun yung naratibo kasi yun yung pinapanood, yun yung nagse-sell. That's why masaya po ako nung 2020 onwards na nagbago yung framing ng media. And ako po personally, nung time na yun, I graduated from Ateneo. Karamihan ng mga graduate na kabatchmates ko pumunta ng Rappler, pumunta ng Philstar, yan sila Franco Luna, sila Michelle. People who are already parang covering transport also on the ground. Kumbaga yung mga tao na kini-criticize ko nung bata pa ako, kaibigan ko na nagsusulat na ngayon, sa mga ahensya na yun. So I did reach out to them. Kinausap ko sila Franco, kinausap ko sila Mitch and other people na okay lang ba sa next transport strike, wag niyo naman paglabanin yung mga sektor. Baka pwede na i-redirect natin yung atensyon doon sa bakit nga ba nagrarally yung mga transport workers, hindi ba dahil sa pagkukulang ng gobyerno? And since then, madami na pong naratibo ang nag-shift. Instead of blaming transport workers for the inconvenience, it starts asking why people are on strike in the first place. And I think that's monumental because in the past 2 decades of my life, it wasn't the conversation. I'm not saying na dahil yung sa kinausap ko sila, no, that's not the ano, but because there are a lot of advocates who've been trying to change the narrative. And even more importantly, yung new generation of media writers natin are actually mas maalam. They are responsible and they know their responsibility kung gaano nila kayang palalimin yung sugat or i-try i-heal yung relationships on the ground. In fact, there is something called community journalism right now sa Rappler. Na ang ginagawa nila is to advocate and showcase movements. So yun po yung panglimang type ng advocates natin. So yung tanong ngayon is where does Move as One fall in? B, we are a mix of everything, kaya magulo yung koalisyon. So we try our best. So sa Move As One po, for example, ayan, meron po tayong former civil servants, meron din tayong current civil servants. Makikita niyo na lang sa group chat natin, may mga random tao doon, nakikita niyo sa DOTR group chats din, di ba? Parang, so ngayon, meron tayong current na mga workers sa LGU. So for example, yung head ng Albay Planning and Divisions Office, si Kuya Yob, is actually in the coalition chat. So direct position of power siya in Albay and he is part of the coalition. We have academics, so si Doc Vars, si Mayor Ramir Angeles of Quezon City, for example. You have a lot of academics there. Si Sir Robbie is an academic. You have development partners also. Ang daming funders din na nasa loob ng coalition chat. You have media people, si Ma'am Dina, 'di ba? Iba-iba siya. Si Marv is actually trained in media. And then you have ground organizers na pumupunta talaga sa mga terminal, pumupunta talaga sa mga iba't ibang komunidad para mag-organisa. So it's a very diverse group of advocates. It is a very, it's a mix of everything. But klaro kasi yung audience na gusto ng Move as One. That's why kaya at importante yung scooping. So, ngayon po, dun tayo sa last part of the conversation. So, we fight for the same things with all these other advocates, but we scope it very specifically. So, halimbawa sa Move As One, we let people like sila Kuya Ira from AltMob, sila Ate Karen from Bicycle Friendly PH, sila Ate Kisha from Life Cycle, and many other biking organizations. We let them advocate for active transportation. We let them represent themselves during Congress hearings, for example. Ang ginagawa ng Move As One is we advocate for the budget and we make sure that invitations reach the communities. Kasi hindi naman namin kailangan nandun eh. Parang forward lang sa kanila. Yan si Kuya Ira nga, parang complete attendance sa kongreso eh. Complete attendance rin siya, Beb, sa media interviews. Wala atang media interview yan, na pinapalagpas weekly. Parang every week siya may feature me. In fact, pagpagod na siya sa kanilang fino-forward kasi sa kanya na talaga, he is the icon, the spokesperson ng kanyang official emirate in life. So yun po yung isa. And then we also inform policy. So karamihan kasi ng advocates natin parang a lot of them dig deep into encouraging other people to bike, teaching people to be first-time bikers, advocating for safe spaces. But there are sometimes technical at matrabahong ginagawa. And that's where the coalition comes in. That's where, halimbawa, you need to review a 5-page policy document from the OTR and comment on the usage and inconsistencies in the policy for electric vehicles. 'Di ba? Ibigay mo 'yan sa sa community forum, "B, gagawin ko diyan." So that's where we come in. We try to break down those pieces of information into something that can be conversational for the sectors. Sa active mobility, hindi siya masyadong problema kasi in fact karamihan ng members ng coalition and active mobility are also policy planners in one way or another, or academics, or bihasa din dun sa lengguwahe. But yung second, dun po tayo mas pumapasok on public transportation. So, very mataas ang formal speak ng ating DOTR policies. Minsan ang hirap niya intindihin, at minsan ang daming lost in translation. So dun po pumapasok din ng Move as One. It's not just for fighting budget for public transport reforms, but also trying to make it friendlier for the sector to give feedback and understand. Ito po yung dahilan kung bakit laging nagrarally yung mga sektor natin on the ground. So ako po, parte po ako ng ACTO since I was born, jeepney driver si Dada for the last 2 decades. At isa sa mga struggle namin kaya lagi kami nagkakalsada ay kapag nagreklamo kami sa Congress, sinasabihan magsulat kami or magbigay ng budget proposal. Anong alam namin dyan? Alam namin kung ano yung mali sa pulisiya, kaya naman magreklamo, pero yung kami yung gagawa ng documents, we're not trained for that. In fact, yung karamihan ng transport workers have problem reading and writing. Karamihan sa kanila, hindi talaga nakapagtapos ng pag-aaral. And you ask them to craft budget proposals, you ask them to craft policy recommendations, that's gonna be hard. They're just gonna tell you how it impacts their lives, pero to expect them to actually go into the technicals is difficult. So that's where Move as One comes in. We take those experiences on the ground and translate them into policy documents that the government can understand, and vice versa. We take the policy documents and convert it into the language that our transport workers and commuters on the ground understand. So doon nag-bridge yung understanding. I think what's also important to nuance is the way the coalition operates, because we're a mix of everything, is not black and white. So for example, mainit-init yung usapin ng PUVMP. Ayan si Kuya Ara. Mainit-init yung usapin ng PUVMP. And you see different sectors either supporting it, 'di ba? Yung Magnificent Seven is supporting PUVMP. And then you see a lot of resistance na talagang abolish the program in its entirety. That's Manibela and Piston. So yung transport workers tuloy, para mukha silang hati sa kaguluhan ng problema kasi it's a black and white conversation eh. Yung isa nagsusupport, yung isa hindi. And sometimes some irresponsible reporters from media, yun yung hina-highlight. Pinagsasabog yung dalawang sektor na ito, sinasabi din sa kabila, di kayo nag-agree kasi matatagas yung ulo nyo. Tapos yung isa naman, i-highlight nila, alam niyo po ba sabi ng Manibela, nabayaran daw kayo, kaya kayo pro-PUVMP. O di ba, di pinag-away mo na lalo yung mga sektor. Instead na i-report siya in a whole coverage, ginawa mong he says, she says yung conversation. Anyways, so black and white yung pagkikita sa sector, but the way we look at it in the coalition is more on the lens of just transition. So, recently po gumawa ng research yung coalition. We're gonna publish it soon. And the research focuses on ano ba yung financing? Ano ba yung conditions, financial and social conditions na kailangan ma-checklist para maka-transition yung transport workers natin from resisting the program or from parang being victims of the program to actually one of those who are supporting the program kasi they are also well supported by the government. So we try to bridge that conversation. And I think in some ways effective siya. I think in some ways government officials, for example, are thankful for the bridging. But I also think in some ways it is bound to criticism. Kasi bakit siya soft stance? Bakit siya neutral? Bakit niya binibridge yung dalawang magkaaway na sektor na bakit hindi na lang natin i-abolish yung PUVMP in its entirety? So medyo nagiging ganon yung conversation. But again, the role of Move as One, as a mix of everything under the sun and the advocacy movement, is try to bridge these conversations. Hindi magkakaaway yung mga different sectors na yun. In fact, some of the people in Move as One before, nag-apply sila sa LTFRB, nag-apply sila sa DOTR to try to change things from the inside. And these people are still allies. These people still want the best. It's just that sometimes life happens, but you need to push through. So, yun po yung iba't ibang klase and where Move As One fits in. Ngayon po, parang I think this is where the conversation comes and then I'll transition it to Marv eventually. Iba-iba yung personality ng different advocates. And in fact, before halimbawa, I started as a ground organizer. I was protesting since I was 7 years old. Kasama ko sa mga nationwide jeepney strike na ino-organisa ng ACTO. And I was angry. As in, yung solusyon ko sa lahat ng bagay ay magprotesta, mag-ingay, i-call out yung mga tao, awayan yung administrasyon, to let the students know halimbawa, or to let the, transport workers know na ginagago sila ng gobyerno. Tapos yung mga rally namin noon, parang very intense siya, putang ina mo! Tapos whatever yung name ng tao. So very intense siya, because that's the goal. Your goal is to anger people. But eventually, parang nagiging tita na ako at some point in my life, pagod na ako magalit. Parang na siya, parang it comes and goes. So, ngayon, mas na ako, mas more trying to bridge the gap, trying to bridge the conversation. Instead na pag-awayan lalo at i-demonize yung gobyerno para magalit yung sektor at sabihin, lahat na nakaw sa inyo ng gobyerno. Yung goal ko ngayon is to let the sectors know na there are allies inside government, that the government is not homogeneous, that there are Congress people that they can win over to champion their interests. So nagiging ganun yung personality ko as a person, as a pagod na magalit. But you ask yourself, saan kayo may energy ngayon? Kasi hindi naman tayo nawawalan ng pangangailangan sa ground organizers. Hindi naman tayo nawawalan ng pangangailangan sa advocates who are in the academic field, as advocates who are in government, as advocates who are in development industry, or advocates who are in media. So just ask yourself kung nasaan yung energy niyo ngayon, ano yung personality na gusto niyong i-channel, and even more importantly siguro, ano yung nag-a-align sa life goals niyo as a person, at kung nasaan kayo in your period of life, in your period of beauty. Yun lamang po, I think, for me. At dahil po nito ang ating guest, gusto ko pong tanungin si Kuya Ira kung meron po siyang gustong idagdag. Ayan na.
Wala akong dadagdag. To be honest, this is also the first time I've come to understand completely what Cobas One is all about. So, maraming
Grabe.
salamat. Wala kasing onboarding sa coalition.
Kuya, add ka lang sa Viber, tapos yun na yun. Bahala ka na.
Thank you for educating me. Ang ganda nung many levels of advocacy. Luminaw yung buhay ko.
Salamat, Kuya Ira. Sige po, transition ko na po back to Marv. And thank you for looking at the very beautiful visual aid for the last how many minutes of your life?
Correct. Maraming salamat. Haya, no? Diyos Mabalos. Friends, that was Haya Bendanya, no? I think she just gave a very amazing input as to, how things have been going for the Move Us On Coalition, what we do, why we do things that we have been doing, and where we come in the grand scheme of things, no? And while I was listening to Haya, I did note some quotable quotes which I fed sa ating Facebook Live, no? So here's some of the quotations which serves as a recap na rin of what Haya was able to share with us. So Haya began her presentation by presenting the 5 types of advocates that exist. First, specifically, well, we're talking about the transport advocacy, no? So she did mention about that one of the first type is the academics or the academicians, and these individuals help change the way we perceive things because they are the ones who teach the people who will eventually sit in power, will eventually become policymakers and implementers. So they play a very vital role in shaping the narrative as well. Second type of advocate are the ground organizers. These are the individuals who, in her words, usually are angry, but eventually one of their goals is to let everyone know their rights and what they can demand and what's missing so that they can demand further and more from the government. And usually the goal is to create a significant mass of people big and angry enough to demand accountability from the government. Haya also mentioned about that another type of advocate ay ang civil servant advocates, and they try their best to find a compromise between what should be done and what can be done based on existing resources, but still they push the envelope to get things done in a way that is multi-sectoral. Another type Another thing is that civil servant advocates help bridge the gap between civil society and the government. Another type of advocate are the development funders. And usually, in other terms, ito yung mga institutional funding agencies that help small organizations like the Move As One Coalition get things done. You know, they have the money, but they may not have all the time and the resources to get things done and to go down in the grassroots. That's why they fund the organizations that are capable of doing so. And lastly, she ended her discussion, or well, she ended the types of advocates by mentioning media as an equally part or as an equally important member or type of advocate. Before, media reportage used to be more about making parties fight against each other. But with highest efforts, one of that is encouraging those in her batch, especially who are now media practitioners, to help change the narrative. So instead of pag-awayan yung mga parties, mas hinikayat niya na gawin yung naratibo into something that tells the public why is there something like public transport strike. What is the problem behind the strike? So that way there is now that intentional effort to make the public understand why things have been going so. So another set of quotable lines that I learned or I did pick from highest discussion is with Move As One trying to break down concept to layman's terms and understanding. And that we're not just trying to push for policy, but we're also helping sectors understand and to give feedback. We take ground stories and transform them into policy papers that government can understand and vice versa. So it's a two-way thing. We are somewhere in the middle. That is why I did mention during our onboarding session that the intervention or the attack, this attack, but the strategy of Move As One is to be friend to all, because we cannot go against one party because that would endanger the work that we have started. And she ended her presentation by encouraging us to follow what aligns with your life goals. And I think there's just no better way to end that by, asking us all back, what is it that aligns with our life goals? And we start from there. So thank you very much, Haya, for that very insightful discussion or sharing about your journey in the coalition and why the coalition has started, why it does not cease to exist, and it continues to exist because there's just a lot more at stake and we need to keep pushing forward and we need to keep powering through. Friends, meron ba kayong mga katanungan while Haya is here with us this morning? Ayan. No, ang dami kong natutunan from Haya's discussion. I think I agree with Ira, no. I think from my end that was a more of a reminder because I was already onboarded about the coalition in October last year during my onboarding session. And with highest discussion this morning, I think that was more of a reminder for me why the coalition exists. And personally, where can I come in as a civic engagement lead? So thank you very much, Haya. Friends, our fellows, do you have questions or sharing that you'd like to share? Anything, friends? There are no wrong sharing here, ha? No wrong answers either. If also sa ating mga kaibigan on Facebook, meron ba kayong mga questions? Please feel free to ask them because we have Haya and even Ira to share with us or to help shed light into whatever questions that you may have. And in fact, we have here our first question: how do you find connections to get more involved in the advocacy? Haya or Ira.
So, if free kayo mamaya, may National Bike Day Expo. So, nandun yung community. Mag-chill lang kayo dun, tumambay lang kayo dun. Kumuha ng mga libreng items mula sa mga orgs na nag-fundraise pero namimigay ng libre. So, it's a good way of getting things jump-started. So, usually naman if you're there, people like Ate Karen, for example, nakasama namin siya sa Pasig activity before, National Bike Day din siya. Tapos siya pa yung lumalapit sa mga tao na pinapanahit nila mag-isa, "Oh, gusto mo ba matuto mag-bike? Oh, we'll teach you how to bike. You can borrow a bike here and then I'll teach you how to pedal." So ano siya, syempre the first way for you is to actually go there. So, minsan pwede mo sila i-contact sa Facebook, you can message like, ano ba, ayan, si Kuya Ira, message niyo siya ngayon, PM niyo siya, "How can I be more active in alt mobility?" Bigyan niyo siya ng ano, ng iisipin na Saturday. Pero alternatively, if there are physical face-to-face events, that's also where you can be part. So, expos like that, or minsan meron mga public consultations ang Quezon City, for example, different cities where you belong in. There are times na meron silang public consultation. Attend those public consultations. Usually, you'll meet your co-advocates there. Sometimes kasi the connections in being more involved happens organically. There are also hangouts na usually pinupuntahan ng active transport community if you want to hang out there instead. So, halimbawa, sila Kuya Ira, saan ba ka Kuya Ira lagi? Magdamag ba? Saan ba kayo? Magdamag Cafe.
Mga car-free, coffee shops. Basta coffee shops na independent. You'll find biking.
Correct. Arcovia is also actually a good place. So Arcovia is a bike hub. Maraming bikers doon. That's also one way. Pero weird kasi na nagbabike sila, tapos bigla mong i-approach. How to be part of your movement? Parang busy nyo ka ba? Di ba? Weird. So the best way for it is to really be active in public consultations and activities like National Bike to Work Day, where people normally are encouraged to talk. And to make those organic connections happen. Doon ka makakakuha. But if you're like me, who is a probinsyana, we usually do it by volunteering in different areas, or like joining programs like YMLP. I think you being here is actually an effort on your end to be part of the advocacy itself, kasi you get to know advocates even if you're not physically present where the activities are.
Thank you very much, Haya. No, I think that answers the question that you just really have to take that first step. And then you're taking that first step really comes in many forms and even many phases. It can, yeah, like what Haya mentioned, it can mean going out of your house to attend certain events where you're likely to meet individuals in the transport space. And for those who are not or who do not have the direct access to these events and activities, I think everything is at the tip of our fingertips, no? I think we can use really social media to volunteer to certain causes, and you attend fellowships, seminars, or even virtual training programs that expose you or allow you to deepen your knowledge and understanding about the transport advocacy. I did receive, Haya, a question from one of our participants, but shy lang siyang magtanong. The question is, how does one keep going when the situation or landscape seems hopeless? And I'd like to point this question to the both of you, to Haya and Ira, especially that the two of you have been in the advocacy for quite a long time already, no? You have been on the field for quite a long time. Haya's background, her father, if I may share on her behalf, her father is a jeepney driver, no? And Haya has been on the ground talking to people in power, communicating our causes. So what are your words of encouragement to our starting advocates in terms of, when they look around, it seems hopeless, and when they see the news, it seems that they're discouraging. It's easy to give up. So how does one keep going and powering through? Over to the both of you.
Pasa ko buhay Kuya Ira kasi mas matagal siyang nabubuhay.
When I when I got Marb's message today, I thought I'll join para I'll get inspiration from listening to you guys. So I guess that's probably the answer. Totoo, nakakapagod mag-advocate. Especially when we're trying to advocate for change. Change always makes people very uncomfortable. And if you look at our transportation industry, our transportation sector, uh, you'll see that a lot of the changes that need to be done are people in power or people in privilege. They need to give up their cars. They need to give more space to other public road users. So oftentimes, espousing a progressive point of view also creates that image that you're trying to shake the boat, trying to rock the boat, you're always upset. So it can get tiring, especially when you're trying to go up against work. So even up until now, so in the 4 or 5 years that we've been doing this, we've worked so hard to change the narrative and to also introduce a brand new language, change the language, change the angling. And it's always a continuing um, study. That's why we also work very closely with local government units that can effect the changes sooner than national government. I guess the way to do it really is to have a very good community behind you, um, so that when you're tired, you have gatherings like this to kind of recharge. Uh, try to find inspiration again. Community that you can just hang out with to vent. But also, I think one very important thing to do is to find time to celebrate. Hindi siya laging hindi siya laging mahirap, hindi siya laging talo. But I guess to just really find opportunities to celebrate, however small, basta may progress. To celebrate it to recharge. As an out community, on top of advocating, we also come up with community events. Para hindi lang siya puro malungkot. Like for instance, ipa-plugging na December 7 and 8. If you're here in Metro Manila, we have a pop-up in Paseo de Rojas in Makati. We're closing it down for 2 days exclusively for the advocacy. So we're celebrating yung mga ganyang bagay to celebrate with the community, to recharge yourselves. Yun. Maganda yung community, but also for you, since mas matagal na ako nabubuhay sa inyo, which iwanan ko sa inyo, itong mundo na to, you do it for your own future. We all deserve to have good cities that will work for us. So we need to strive harder so that we can get the city that we deserve. Pinagtrabaho talaga.
Correct. Good cities that would work for us. I think that's a very, you know, that's a very important reminder na we do things for us more than anything else. I think Kuya Ira just reminded us that it really is being concerned not only for ourselves but also for others. Haya, what do you have to say?
Yeah. Ako, Mima, para hindi masyadong mapagod, I ride my energy. So I get involved where my energy takes me instead of reforming my energy to the involvement. So for example, dati aktibo ako sa mga protesta ng, yun nga, ng mga transport strike. Doon talaga ako pinaka-aktibo. Yun yung energy ko eh. Pero ngayon, again, I'm starting to be like a coffee tita, ayan. In the morning, gusto ko lang ng silent times, ganyang eme. So mas sa Move As One ako nag-focus. But pag dumating yung panahon, nagalit ulit ako, ang dami ko na namang energy, dami ko na namang eme. I'm sure babalik din naman ako sa sa ibang klase ng movement or advocacy, kung saan mas kaya yung energy ko. So I think that's one. Ride the energy where you are. Kaya sabi ko sa inyo, parang you don't need to be in Move As One coalition if this is not your energy, if it is not your vibe. Kasi baka ang vibe nyo is mas piston, baka ang vibe nyo is mas manibela, halimbawa, or ang vibe nyo is mas mas government. Go lang. Parang it doesn't mean, hindi naman to mutually exclusive. You can go and ride where your energy is. So, yun yung una. Nakakapagod kasi ipilit yung sarili mo sa mga lugar na hindi ka fit and vice versa. Ipilit yung mga lugar sa'yo na hindi nga siya for you. So, nakakapagod yun. Instead na mas feel mong mabilong ka, feeling mo ma-alienate ka. So, that's the first one. Tapos yung second, Mima, may mga times na di ako namamansin as in lahat ng mga bagay sa Viber lang siya. Tapos kapag pagod na ako, as in lalo mga December kasi, ang daming jeepney strike emerald. Tapos ako parang, for the last how many years of my life, yun yung ginagawa ko. Tapos parang sabi ko sa sarili ko, pagod na ako. So usually mga December, nag-tune off ako. Bigla akong nagde-deactivate ng Instagram halimbawa. Bigla na lang ako nagde-Netflix kasi emotionally nakakapagod siya. And I already feel hopeless. Parang hindi ko na kailangan yung reinforcement na walang pag-asa on the ground. So it's also parang trying to be selective in your engagements and doing what's best for you. So alam ko na a lot of advocacy conversations are inspiring you to, do more, be more, etc. to exhaust yourself. Go ahead and do that also. But there's also parang an assurance na okay lang din naman if you don't do that. Okay lang din naman if you do what's right by you. If you ride your energy, if you just, do what you think is most important. Kasi at the end of the day, parang mas kailangan natin ng allies inside the movement kaysa mga taong pagod outside the movement. So, ayun lang naman po, Zlamats.
Salamat, Haya. Haya and Ira friends did mention, or their answers are practical, no? They're rooted in their lived experiences. And I appreciate that their responses are not utopian ideals. They are very much aligned, or they're very much what we want to hear if we are to be realistic, because they talked about rest, no? Part of doing advocacy work, part and parcel of doing advocacy work is eventually becoming tired, especially that doing advocacy work is really not a lucrative space to be in. I remember during my college time, most of the my batchmates are now venturing into the corporate world, climbing the corporate ladder. Meanwhile, kakaunti lamang kami na nasa development sector. And why am I sharing this? Because practically speaking, doing advocacy work is not for everyone. No, it is not, as we were told, it's usually not for the faint-hearted. Hindi siya pwede sa mga taong madaling ma-discourage. Well, discouragement is part of the process, but the more dangerous part is if you let that discouragement pull you down, that you become indifferent, no? That you become apathetic. That's equally dangerous. That is why Ira's and Haya's responses tell us to rest if you are tired, to value progress, not perfection. And because progress, no matter how small, is still progress. If you gain a knowledge, or a piece of information or two about the advocacy, that's, I think, enough to celebrate, because you're way better than you were yesterday, unaware of what you just learned. And highest encouragement to channel your energy into those that take you wherever it takes you. Then I think that's a practical reminder that we cannot chase everything at the same time. We have to be strategic into which we want to channel our energy, because that means being intentional. And I also like to add to their responses that one important thing then in doing advocacy work is showing up. One important thing in making change is to show up. And you showing up this morning is one great manifestation that we're all in this together. And we so appreciate you, friends, for choosing to be here at 10 a.m. when you could be doing your laundry, you could be doing your rest or homework, but you chose to spend your at least 1 hour with us. And that's a very important thing for us already at the coalition. Sabi nga namin when we were planning for YLP, we will not focus on the numbers this time. We will focus on the quality of fellows that we will bring in. Because if we transform one fellow into an ever vibrant and active advocate in the future, I think we are already successful by that. Thank you very much, Haya and Ira. Another question from an anonymous asker. Ano, ito kay Ian na lang muna. Possible po bang masolusyonan ang paghinto sa paglapastangan ng inang kalikasan, lalo sa mga project sites, para walang delays? Anyone?
Possible siya, friend. Kaso kailangan ng more reinforcement from the movement. So, for example, si Ilog Pasiglahin Coalition is the one currently leading the stopping the building of Pasig River Expressway. But if you're in the group chat, a lot of people want to do things, pero hindi naman sila nagvo-volunteer. So, halimbawa ito, madami doon, parang if you read the chat, parang maglalapag sila ng 7 action steps na ito dapat yung gawin ng koalisyon, MM. Pag tinanong mo sila, okay, alin po dito yung willing kayong mag-volunteer? Wala na sumasagot. So that's also one, Cyrus. Parang, ang dami kasing feelings ng mga tao na ito gawin to, ito kailangan to. I-re-evaluate natin yung flood control projects. But if you ask them, okay, game ka ba to join a movement that re-evaluates flood control projects? Wala ka na maririnig pabalik. Di na sila mag-active, di na sila mag-send ng messages. So madami lang sila feelings, dami lang nilang gustong gawin, dami lang nilang gustong parangal na gawin. Parang mag-signal lang na ito yung dapat gawin. Alam ko because I fight for it. But if you ask them if they're actually willing to spend energy and resources and effort and actually work hard to get things done, nawawala sila. So that's I think what's important. So Cyrus, for example, I see a lot of people in Twitter, I see a lot of people in Facebook trying to criticize Pasig River Expressway, trying to criticize halimbawa, yung flood control given what's happened in Bicol and Naga. At ano to ako I co-convene Tarabangan Bicol with Ken during and many other co-area leads during the Pepito and Christine relief operations and rescue operations. Until now actually we're still functional. Dapat today meron kaming 4 AM pagdala ng relief goods to Garchitorena, Camarines Sur. So it's a very very far-flung town na nalapastangan nung bagyong Pepito. Pero when you ask people, pero kailangan namin i-reschedule yun ng Sunday. Kasi nag-call for volunteers kami. Walang dumating. And the reason is, hindi kasi Naga yung binagyo. So yung mga taga-Naga, for example, a lot of them, madami kang makikita sa Facebook page ko, parang sa Facebook timeline ko, parang nasasaktan yung ibang volunteers na taga-Naga who are helping people outside of Naga. Kasi pag Naga yung nasalanta, ang daming nag-enyos na willing to help mag-repack, ang daming volunteers during Christine kasi Naga yung nasalanta. So they're trying to help their own communities. Pero nung Garchitorena na, nung Catanduanes na, nung hindi na Naga, wala nang pumapasok ng evacuation centers, wala nang tumutulong mag-repack. That's also one. Parang you want to, parang, kasi yung mga nasalanta, kawawa naman, eme. Game ka ba mag-repack? Nag-repack yung volunteers namin, 11 PM to 4 AM. Kagabi. Tapos 4 AM, nag-call quit sila. Sabi nila, okay, i-reschedule na lang natin ng Sunday, kinabukasan yung pag sa Garchitorena kasi kulang yung repack na relief goods kasi ilan lang silang volunteers doon, 6 na tao. Yun siya, Ian. I'm Cyrus. Parang ano rin siya parang yeah, so yun rin siya. Parang it's also parang I hope it doesn't end with virtue signaling. Tapos may mga advocates pa na, ito yung napapagod ako kaya umalis ako sa Twitter. Yung mga nagkikriticize pa ng movement ng ibang tao, hindi na lang tumulong. At gumawa ng sarili nilang movement if they want. So madami to, parang, sige, ginagawa ng ganito, ganyan lang. Dapat ito gawin nila. Okay, that's a very good suggestion. Game, gusto magawin natin together. Busy pala ako. So, anong gagawin naman suggestion mo kami mag-i-implement? Di ba parang ang hirap niya? Pagod na tayo sa mga bagay na gusto nating gawin. Tapos, mali, para sa kanila, mali yung ginagawa mo or kulang yung ginagawa mo. Pero kapag tinanong mo naman sila if game sila to do it together, ayaw naman nila. So, tayo dito? Magagalit lang kayo sa amin? Tapos pag napagod kami, di wala ng advocate. Sino nagagawa? Yung pinaka-example nito, not so much in transport advocacy, pero yung pet rescue. So, I donate regularly to pet rescue shelters. Tapos ang daming mga tao na nagka-criticize sa mga pet rescuers na, dapat ito yung gawin yung pagkain, dapat may monthly check-up sila, ready po ba kayo mag-sponsor ng pan-check-up? Wala pala akong pera. So parang, ang gagawin natin, B? Kami na ngayon nag-aabono 50K buwan-buwan para mapakain yung rescues namin. Nag-rescue ka ba kahit isang pusa man lang sa kalsada? So it's also that, parang iba yung trying to virtue signal and actually getting things done.
Thank you very much, Haya. Okay, we have here another question. As someone who has no background in advocacy work, what are your tips that you can share with us in helping our friends who are, for the lack of better term, indifferent to the pressing issues around us to be conscious?
Okay. I'll talk about this as anak ng transport worker na napagod sa Ateneo kasi wala pa kayong mga tao sa strike. You don't need to convert them. So syempre I tried my best. Nagalit lang ako. I did all my best effort para maintindihan nila yung sitwasyon. But they're not your target market kasi Kasi they're indifferent. Yung target market mo are people who are already feeling strongly about it, and your effort should be to organize them into creating a movement to be able to influence people inside government then, for example, who care about it. So, magsasayang ka ng energy trying to convert people who don't care when you can actually get things done with people who care. So, mas yun yung unahin mo kasi mafu-frustrate ka lang tapos ang mangyayari, ang magiging tono mo lang niyan ay, "Ano ba naman yan, wala kayong pake. Hindi ba kayo nagmamahal sa bahay, hindi ba kayo tao?" Yun yung magiging tono mo, magiging resentful ka lang as a person na parang if you want to convert people, if you want to virtue signal, if you wanna be resentful, go ahead. But if your priority is to get things done, you're talking to the wrong market. You're talking to the wrong people.
Thank you, Haya. Ang ganda nun, no, na parang ang dami na nangyayari. I mean, I think the least you can do is to stress yourself out by focusing on people who are less likely to act on what you're trying to tell them. I remember in comms, napakahirap. Yung pinaka-challenging part is yung behavior change. So, I think enough na that they know that we're fighting for something. But Haya is reminder na focus tayo doon sa mga taong mas pakikinggan tayo, and not only pakikinggan tayo, but people who will move and act with us. These are people, as what I has shared and mentioned, na who already care. Kasi ang mahirap kasi diyan, if we keep reaching out to people who whom we think are hopeless to care about the things that we care about, chances are our efforts will fall on the cracks, no? It would fall on on deaf ears, and sayang yon, no? As advocates, it's always easy to wear our hearts on our sleeves, but if we mean being intentional, if we mean driving results, if we want to see results, and if we want to see the value of the work that we are doing, I think we really have to focus our energy into doing or into reaching out people na mas magkakaroon tayo ng return of investment. Kasi investment yun yung pag-iisip, yung invisible labor of thinking about this advocacy, the invisible labor of planning to reach out to certain groups of people, of planning to what to say to these people. That's already investment in themselves. So doon tayo pupunta dapat sa mga tao at mga bagay at mga usapin na mas mabibigyang, ginansya yung ating mga investments. Thank you very much for that, Haya. Sige, do you have any other questions, friends? Meron ditong sharing from Carion Adara. Feel ko po may mga gusto naman ma-involved, pero nahihiya sila kasi di nila kaya o gusto i-give up yung sarili nilang non-sustainable transport practices in the current system. Pero understandable naman kung bakit ang pwede nilang ipaglabang yung right nila to have better options. Thank you very much for this, Carion. And she also, nagdagdag din siya, kung pwede maka-add, gets yung wanting your friends to understand something you're passionate about. Like, if there's a line na lang between respecting where they want to put their energy and kung ini-invalidate rin nila yung importance nito sa iyo. So, I think this is very valid. No, na while we say that, you can do your own thing, damned if they do, damned if they don't. But yung ultimate goal din kasi is, at least in them, magkaroon sila ng sense of care, or hindi man care, at least consciousness na they don't move forward with, privilege. But, even if they are in the pedestal, even if they are in the ivory tower, they are still aware and sensitive na merong mga taong, yung mga taong na ang pamumuhay ay ibang-iba sa kanila. And maimportante yon na alam ng mga taong ito na nag-exist, or yung mga taong nasa baba have reality worse and different than theirs. According to her, yes, and also welcome rin naman tayo to find friends within the community para di masyadong struggle i-convert friends mo to be advocates. So this is a very good, parang there's strength in number, friends. We have to remember that. And that's why this module really tells us na in understanding who we are and where we are in this grand scheme of things, in the grand transport universe, we find that match in us, and find also others who have found their own match, so that we can ignite a bigger and more powerful flame, so that we are stronger in our interventions. That is why that is one intervention, or that is one of the strategies that Move as One has been embodying to convert, or if not convert, but to inform as many people as possible, because we believe that informing others is one critical step to converting people. And whether we see people being converted or not, we will continue what we do because that's one of the essence why we exist. Okay? Do you have any other questions, friends? Or sharing? Okay, I think receiving none. I think, friends, that okay, we have here from Mel. Mel, over to you.
Hello everyone. Good morning. Gusto ko lang i-emphasize yung presentation ni Miss Haya kasi maganda siya for starter kasi hindi naman natin alam kung ano yung pwede nating gawin or kung sino ba talaga tayo. So maganda siya to find your purpose sa transportation sector. And what I love doon, yung ang tawag dito, yung mga types ng advocate, ang pinaka gusto ko doon, yung sa type of media. Kasi malaking role yon sa impact ng mga tao dahil nga naggi-give tayo ng information, minsan mali, minsan pala yung ibang angle yung yung sinasabi nila or pinapakita nila. Kasi yun yung mas nagbo-boom, yun yung mas nagkakaroon ng issue or parang makabuluhan siya dahil may nangyayaring ganyan. So parang yun yung umaatikabong balita. Kaya minsan nagkakaroon ng misinformation. And para sa atin, kailangan nandun tayo sa gitna. So, hindi lang dun sa anggulo na yun, pero kailangan makita din ng ibang tao yung iba pang angle. So, bakit nga ba sila nagrarally? So, ano naman yung yung usapin ng mga transportation sector na nasa government. So, magandang kailangan nasa gitna lang tayo. And yun, kailangan lang nating maging friends. So paano nga ba natin bilang journalist or bilang maging writer, kailangan natin alamin kung ano yung problema talaga. So kailangan natin i-deep down kung ano yung mga problema. We look at the national transport issues and come up with projects and recommends a solution. So maganda yon na we look at the transport issues, we look also sa actual performance and yung ideal na transportation sector para maayos natin, ma-improve natin yung transportation system. And maganda rin yung first type na advocate, yung academics. Kasi dito pa lang tayo mag-start bilang ma-educate natin yung ibang tao. Will eventually pwedeng maging policy maker. So mahalaga kung ano ba yung mga pwede nating iambag. So ano ba yung pwede nating gawin? Ano ba yung magagawa natin? So makikita niyo na yung profile ko ay galing ako sa DOTR. So, under ako ng DPTMP or Davao Public Transport Modernization Project. No, naging intern ako. So, ang naging na-realize ko doon, syempre, as a starter pa lang, na gustong ma-involve sa project is hindi ko kailangan maging transport planner. Pero gusto kong maging transport manager in the future. So ano ba yung mga pwedeng gawin to be a manager in the future? So kailangan lang meron tayong ideal na or basic theory sa planning sa mga facilities and career services. Kaya mahalaga na alam natin yung mga problema dito sa issues. That's why I'm here then. So in purpose ng course ko kasi graduate ako ng transportation management, a unique course only offered in PUP. So in my experience, bakit nga ba ako nandito? Why do we need to establish dun sa project namin? Bakit kailangan i-establish yung project na yun, yung DPTMP? So, kailangan ma-justify yun sa planning study para magkaroon ng recommendation to what we'll do. So, sa planning, kailangan mag-recommend ng projects and it has to be justified. So, hindi lang tayo, buka ng ating mga bibig. Pero kailangan natin i-justify lahat ng mga sinasabi natin. So, para ma-convince din natin yung other people na i-support tayo, di ba? So, maganda yun, no? Ano ba yung pwedeng basis natin sa justification na yun? Mahalaga yun. So, essence yun sa transport planning. So, ang ibig sabihin ng transport planning, pwede siya maging rational planning, di ba? Saang area ang kailangan natin gawin ng ilagyan ng solusyon, di ba? So, kailangan i-identify yung mga transportation projects. So, we look at the national system, come up sa mga projects and recommendations to what we do. So, mahalaga rin na i-improve yung ano tawag dito, mag-set up tayo ng objectives kung anong pwedeng gawin, 'di ba? Maganda na magkaroon ng objectives kasi ito yung magiging reason for being. Bakit nga ba natin ginagawa yung mga ganitong bagay or yung mga ganitong sitwasyon. So I think nasa ako, first, third, and fifth yung pinaka nagustuhan ko sa type of academics. And thank you for bringing this up kasi nakita ko na kung saan ako. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mel. Akala ko you will end your sharing, Mel, na maganda rin si Haya mismo.
Ay, of
Charot.
course. Feeling ko nga medyo magkamukha kami, bilugin na mukha. Tapos, pares kami nakasando. So, sorry, hindi ako makaka-video today.
Carry lang, carry lang. We respect boundaries. Thank you very much, Mel, for that magandang sharing, no. Kinover ni Mel yung mga parang na-mention ni Haya and parang she raised equitable senses as to what she thinks about based on where she is coming from, and she also mentioned about the specific types of advocate that she co-identifies herself with. Maraming salamat, Mel. I'm supposed to have another quick mini activity lang, but we respect everyone's time and it's already 11:29. So in the last minute, mag-picture na lang po tayo mga kaibigan. Sige, for those who can turn on their camera, please do. But for those who cannot, we respect you just the same. All right, mag-picture tayo in 3, 2, 1. Another one. I-move ko lang yung ko. Teka lang. Okay. Wait. Hang on tight. Okay. Wait. Oh my God. Gallery. Ayun, sige. 1, 2, 3. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Thank you for choosing to spend your Saturday morning with the YMLP Barkada. By the way, very last na lang pala, we will have our Move Us 1 year and dinner next Friday in Cubao, Quezon City. So friends, for those who are available are at 6 p.m., we would love to meet everyone para makasama na rin namin kayo bilang our 5th cohort ng YMLP. So I will share more details about that sa ating group chat, but it's important that you already begin to think about it, whether you're free and can make it on Friday next week. Muli po, maraming salamat. This is in Marvin, and on behalf of Move Us One Coalition, thank you, God bless you, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you, Haya and Ira. Bye-bye.
Everyone, galing mo, Marv. Bye-bye po!